So a really big goal for the game is that we want it to feel really visceral. And special effects play a big part of that because most of what you're really doing as a character in the game is expressed more or less with special effects. So in order to get that visceral feeling, it's kind of a formula that gets divided into two parts. First part is the stuff that you do, which is really crazy and awesome, and then what the monsters do as a result of it. So starting with the hero skills, first one here is the barbarian. What we like to do with the heroes is we look into their core vibe and we figure out what is this guy all about, and then we try to make sure as we're designing skills that everything that we're doing is reinforcing that core vibe. So this is a little bit of a recap for the barb. He's a physical juggernaut, so everything that he does, no matter how fantastic it may be, is always going to be the result of some kind of physical action. So next up, the witch doctor. Well, he's a witch doctor, so naturally we want to hit as many of those classic witch doctor-y kind of things. But at the same time, being a caster, we wanted to differentiate him from other casters, like a mage or a wizard type of character, where they are literally casting things right out of their fingertips. So he's a little bit more indirect, a little more passive-aggressive. So what we did with him is, rather than, say, throwing a fireball at you, he will take a shrunken head, fill it with some kind of voodoo cocktail, and then toss it. And that's how we got Skull of Flame. But, you know, he's a witch doctor, so witch doctor, zombies, those things go together, kind of like baseball, and hot dogs, and drinking beer, and getting thrown out of the stadium. So what we didn't want to do zombies like the zombies that you're killing in the game. That's kind of too straightforward for us. So we hit on this idea, why don't we crossbreed the idea of zombies with other wacky ideas? And that's how when we wanted to do a skill called Firewall, we said, well, wait a minute, what if we did Zombie Brawl instead? And then for his pets, we decided, well, how about dogs and zombies? So we got zombie dogs. And a new theme that's emerging is what we're calling swarms. And you saw a little bit of this with a WWI announcement with a skill called Locust Swarm. But we're adding to that some new ideas. One is fire bats, where he's literally channeling bats from the sky and catching them on fire. And another one called Plague of Toads. So that brings us to the wizard. So the wizard's kind of an effects artist's favorite character because it gives us a chance to really stretch out and fill the screen with a lot of light. And Wyatt was earlier talking about a lot of the design goals for differentiating the character, but from an art perspective, we really only had one goal, and that was to turn this character into a light show. Next up is Blizzard. And really the hard part with Blizzard is it's called Blizzard. It's got our company name on it. It's appeared in 3 other games. There's a huge expectation level for what that should be. And we felt like we needed to really pay homage to the past, but at the same time, we needed to completely one-up ourselves. We tried lots of crazy ideas, like turning it into a cyclone, or a spinning blade of ice, or maybe it's just sleet. In the end, I think we went back to a very traditional take on it, but we just tried to make it really heavy and slushy feeling. So next up is a skill called Tornado. So when design first told us we want to put a tornado on the wizard, we thought, oh, cool, awesome. Tornadoes are totally violent. They do things like they throw cars and buildings and cows around. So we were totally wanting to do that. And so we set about the task of making these hyper-realistic tornadoes in the game. But when we got them in there, we discovered there was a bit of a problem with that, in that, one, they didn't really look like a light show because they're kind of made out of dust and debris. And the other problem is tornadoes, when you're looking down on them and they're the size of your character, they're not all that awesome. So it was Jay who came up with the idea, what if they're tornadoes made out of energy? And the artist's response to that was, we don't know what that looks like. We don't know what the heck that is. What is that? But that really turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it gave us the freedom to really create something crazy like what you see here.